Hi everyone, welcome to the Dimpest TV show, and today we're talking about domestic violence. I got my beautiful sister here, Liz Taki. Did I get it wrong? Techi. I'm like Vera, right? She's Ghanaian. She's the founder of A2I Dyslexia. And we will apologize because we can't have two of our guests here today, unforeseeable circumstances, but God always prepared and make room for when we cannot have the full house. But we are hoping you're going to love today and you will enjoy the topic. And you can join in by calling the studio. So you can call us 07944 3462 6028. 07944 346028. And then we can have some discussion with you as we go along. So today my beautiful sister here, Liz, and I'm Dr. Reverend Precious Toe, and you guys already know me, I'm a loud mouth. I'm going to make sure I don't talk too fast today. I'll talk a little bit slower so we can be able to digest all that is coming to us. So my beautiful, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, it's quite strange actually. I'm normally in your seats and people are over here, but it's a bit weird being interviewed, and I didn't realise how nervous it can be. But hey, I know someone probably think you nervous. I don't believe that, Liz, but hey, I'm a human. It's a pleasure to be on the show today. The topic we're about to talk, or we're going to talk about today, is very close to my heart.
Yes.
I have a lived experience, and there's always been a passion to share my story. But in the past, I was like, what would people think? What would people say about me? But I've got to a time in my life now, to be honest, Dr. Precious, I don't give two hoots what people think anymore.
That's right.
And I'm ready to share my story.
We grow past that stage because it's you that dwell in it, it's you that live it, and it's you that have to deal with the consequence of what comes out of it.
Absolutely.
Now, we're talking about domestic violence. And I know many at times Africans don't want to hear this word. They said, after all, it's happened, just moved on. It's like pouring hot water on someone and say, well, the skin is going to peel off later and that place is going to heal. I said to people, there are many scars. It depends on the size of the scar, you remember this pain. If that scar is small, you know the scar is going to go away. But when that scar is bigger and there's so many hollows to go over, it is not easy to get over it.
Absolutely.
So I will start by saying, what made you want to break the ice today?
Okay. It's really, really interesting actually, Dr. Precious, that you asked me that question. I've always wanted to talk about DV, my experience, my personal experience, but for some unknown reason, I was always used to think, my children, how would they feel? My family, how would they feel? I must be honest, I didn't even contact any of my family. I didn't tell my family I'm going to be here today because I know what they will say. You know, it's all about, oh look, let's not embarrass our family. Let's not talk about things that are going to bring shame. Now, this is a healing process for me because I don't think I've got over the experiences I went through. It's been 20 years and I don't think I've got over it. So I think today, hopefully after this program, I'm going to get some kind of closure from all the...
I will warn you, we'll never get closure.
Okay.
But we heal.
Yeah.
It's a process. I can tell you that because like you, it's 20 years gone. Mine, 4.5 years I've been out of it. So for 10 years, right, you had to live that. And you have to be perfect for the people that are treating you that way. But before we go into this, so that people don't see, they know we're reverends and we're Christians in the first place. Let's get into that mood. The Bible condones violence. It does not like violence. And if you don't believe what I'm trying to say to you, I'm going to read you some scriptures. And you will understand that violence is a no-no thing. And when we, as husband and wife, bring violence into our relationship, it's got nothing to do with the devil. Now, matrimonial issues builds up on two people. Depending on your relationship, how you communicate with each other. And I think most of the time, we African, our marriages falls apart because we're never together in the first place. And then, like you said, you can't go to the parents. Like back in the days when our grandmothers were beaten and they go to their parents, they send them back home to their husband. Why? Because the man has to diary on their head. Where I come from, you can't pay money on my head. Because if something happens, my mom will come and get me, but my family will come and get me. Because they'd rather they have me alive than dead to a man that they've taken something from. And so people don't understand the different culture and why people do it. Because they've lived the pain of losing somebody to domestic violence and they don't want that to repeat itself. So the Bible does not like domestic violence. If we go to Ephesians, let me just go there quick. We have an hour, less than an hour to do this. So I'm going to do it quick for you guys before I start to ask my sister some questions. So I'll go to Ephesians chapter 5.
But it's really important that we start with God.
Yes.
Because, you know, I believe that's very, very important.
That's right. Verse 21. It said, submit yourself one to one another in the fear of God. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husband as the Lord, as unto the Lord. Now, this is the Bible verse that most pastors use to torment us. This is the Bible verse that they use to put us in the bondage that we're in already with our husbands. Now, if a man wakes up in the morning, or a woman, because domestic violence can be both ways, and say to them, I'm going to beat this woman. Sometimes you don't need a reason to beat the woman. But I always, when I was about to leave the relationship I was in, I looked at the bishop's face and I said, even dogs react sometimes. I was referring to myself as a dog. That means you've come to the lowest of the lowest. A dog will never submit to what that don't love it. And dog is the most friendly animal you can find in the world.
That's right.
If I don't care how you push a dog and beat it, it still comes back and lick you in the face.
Absolutely.
But there comes a point when that dog will grow its teeth and ready to just grab you by whatever way it has to grab you, you know. And I said to him, I don't matter how a woman submits. If the man she submits, if you don't understand submission, and he does not understand she loved my wife like Christ loved the church, it would not be possible.
That's right, yeah. But I think this word submission, a lot of people have got it mixed up.
Yeah.
They think, right, I'm the man of the house, I'm the head of the house, so you submit to me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not one of the most easiest people where you're going to go keep quiet and go, all right then, or jump and I go, how high? I would ask question like, how high do you want me to jump at? However, before I jump, why you would ask me to do this? Do you see what I mean? And I think in our community, this word submissive has been sort of misunderstood.
It is.
And they think, you're the woman, you keep quiet and I'll do it. And the minute you become sort of a voice of your own, is made in my case, this is when the beatings and you know, all the abuse started happening, because I wouldn't submit. I don't know what they call submission.
Do you want to enlighten us when it first started?
Okay, so I was very young.
And some Bible verses for us to just give it to them as well as we go along.
Absolutely. So, hello viewers, and thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, normally I'll be sitting here, but Precious is, today is all Precious interviewing me, and I'm really happy to really be part of this, because I think it's important that we speak and not keep quiet and, you know, just hope that it will just disappear, because domestic violence does not disappear. So how did it all start? I was very young. I met my first partner. We weren't married. We were married the sort of Ghanaian way, but there was no ring on the finger. It was traditional marriage. In fact, it might not even have been. I felt pregnant and he went and did a knocking, and I had to call that. Yeah. But somehow he was responsible for that pregnancy. Absolutely. So I met him when I was about 19, and I remember I met him at a friend's house, and I think she's watching today. Very, very good friend of mine who I grew up with in Ghana. And she's very, very close to my heart. We grew up in the same house. So I met my ex-partner, or ex-husband, or whoever he was at the time, in my friend's house. So I remember when I met him, and she said, look, this one, I don't think you should go there. And I was like, why? And she goes, because I don't know, something doesn't sit right. But you know what, Dr. Tone? I didn't listen. And I went. In fact, I fell out with her for 10 good years. I didn't speak to her.
Wow.
Because I felt, now, who are you to come and tell me who I can date and cannot date? But she knew more about him than I did. And I really hope that there's those of his friends watching today, and if you are watching, I'm on my knees pleading with you to send this video to him. Because every message I'm sending today, he needs to hear it. So, going back to my story. I was 19 when I met him, and it was all beautiful, I think. Some things weren't right because he's got a very quick temper. So he was quick to get upset. But I put it down to, maybe if I didn't say that, or maybe if I didn't do that, then he would get upset.
That's what happens here.
So I was 19 when I met him. My family didn't really like him. My mum didn't take to him. My dad didn't take to him. No one took to him. But I was the only one that kind of felt like, well, I can change this man. I don't care what anybody thinks. You know, I can wave a magic wand and all of a sudden he's going to be a very good person to me. So I met him when I was 19, and the relationship started. It was all sweet, great and everything, until I fell pregnant with my son. And when I fell pregnant with my son is when the problem started. But I've always had it in my head that I always wanted to have my children in one place.
That's right.
I didn't want to have kids here, there and everywhere.
No.
So once I made that decision and I made that promise to myself, I wasn't going to go anywhere. So when I fell pregnant with my son is when the problem started. It started with a shout, started with a push, started with a shove, and then it went to a slap, and then it went to the beatings, yeah? Now, a friend of mine said to me some time ago, the minute you got the push list, you should have left. But I didn't leave. I was pregnant at the time. I was fearful of who's going to want me.
Yes,
so I stayed.
It's true.
And the longer I stayed, the worse the situation became. He was so quick-tempered that you couldn't have a normal conversation with him, you know? And the violence just continued. Now, if I must say, African parents that are watching this, stop sending your kids back to the abusive partner. And I'm looking at the camera to say this. I might say a lot of things today. Some of you agree with, some of you won't.
Right.
I actually don't care at this point. I'm speaking to the world, and I want women to be saved, and I want women to have a fulfilled life. Now, what kept happening, my family would say, my dad would say, well, actually, maybe he will change. You know, and they'll call him and they'll talk to him, as we do in Africa.
That's even good. They called him and talked
Yeah.
to him. That means they had a little bit of consideration
Yeah.
of how things should work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they will call him, sometimes he'll go, sometimes he won't go. He was so rude. I mean, when I talk about rudeness, I've never met anyone so rank in my life, yeah? So he would literally, sometimes he'll go, sometimes he won't go. And when he does go and they speak to him, he was, all right then, I won't do that again. Or when he's hit me or something, he would say, I'm so sorry, that will never happen again. I'd get a bunch of flowers, I'd get a bunch of box of chocolates, I'll get the best treatment for that week.
He's the best guy. He gave you chocolate and flowers, girl. I need to clap for you.
Right, I'll get all the best treatment that week, yeah?
Yeah.
Come Sunday, the violence starts again. So you think, actually, maybe he's okay, he's changed, we're moving on, and it starts again. And I stayed, and I stayed, and I stayed. When I went back, I had my son, and I thought, okay, I made a promise to myself that I'm gonna have my kids in one place, so I'm gonna make this work, yeah? So the hit, the punch, the spitting, spit in your face, you know? In public, like if we go out, we'll be talking to people, and then I'll look at him and he'll give me a certain look and I have to stop.
Yeah.
Now everybody watching this is like,
Yes.
you, Liz?
It's common, it's common. That
I mean,
is
a
common.
lot of my friends that are watching that, that's not something that we think you, Liz, will put up with, but I did.
You grew up, that's why you're stronger now, and you won't take that nonsense anymore, right?
Exactly. I did, and I just kept thinking, okay, maybe if I didn't say this, he wouldn't have hit me. Maybe if I didn't say that, I would have got poked in an eye at a party. Maybe if I didn't say this, he would have beat me up when I was pregnant with my daughter. Do you know what I mean? All these things that happened, and I just kept blaming myself all the time. But like I said, if you saw him right now, and he was suited and booted, you would never think this man could even lay a finger on someone.
Do you know what the devil looks like?
No.
He's a very handsome guy. Don't be deceived by the homes and things you see on these cartoon characters. Satan is a very handsome guy, and the Bible says he's light. And when you, nobody has this thing written on their face that domestic violence, or he's an abuser, or she's an abuser. The thing is, automatically you love who you love, but you never know who you're loving. Like I usually say to people, if God could show you a glimpse of where you're going, you might not want to go there. Maybe that's why everything is like a mystery right now, and we're just walking it.
Exactly.
And we thank God for Christ, and that's the hope of glory. We know we're going somewhere.
Yeah.
But from what you just said, was there a point where you say to yourself, you know what, let me try to be the best wife ever. Maybe I will not get all these slaps, these punches, and this kick, or this disgrace in public. My one was the disgrace in public.
Okay.
I didn't mind the house one. I can cover that up, and I can buy body makeup. But when you step out of your house and you're respected by people, and because of what you do, people see you and they look at you nicely, and then you know in your heart you're gonna get something out of what you just done. So at a point of your life, how did you feel about yourself?
Okay, I'll be honest with you, Dr. Toe. It got to a point in my life where I felt worthless. There was, to be honest, sometimes there was even like, you used to think, gosh, I mean, you know, getting out of bed was the problem, and I felt so worthless because he made me believe I was the most ugliest woman he's ever met. He made me believe I was worth nothing. He made me believe that nobody would ever want me. He just kept whispering things in my ears. And all those things he said, do you know I believe them?
Oh yes, we do.
I believe them.
No matter how intelligent you are,
yes.
you fall from grace to...
You know, and I thought, well, hang on a minute. I don't think I'm all those things, but I just believed it. And I was so fearful. I was so fearful of, you know, maybe losing my home and, you know, not being able to look after the kids or whatever it might have been, you know. But a turning point came And I'll talk to you about that when we get to that bit.
So you stayed longer in this relationship.
I did, yes.
And then you wanted to have all your children by one man. By the way, I had my first daughter when I was 19, and her father passed away. I didn't kill him, so it didn't make me a prostitute, a young woman that is sleeping around. We were engaged. He was 23 at the time, from Jamaica, and this young girl just all over the place, and met this guy. First boyfriend, everything. So I have my daughter at the age of 19. Already the church was against me for that. Okay. So now I'm labeled as, like last time our sister was talking about label, I'm labeled as a bad girl already. But hey, their daughters are jumping through the window, that's okay. But because I went in and didn't know how to do it like the rest were doing it, I got hooked up with a baby. So number one, that's against me already. Yeah. So African man that will come and marry me, they will call you secondhand.
Okay.
So when I was in the church as a music minister, but then I wasn't like producing then, I was in the back of the church, like in the choir. Let's say backing up anybody that come to the church, will call person, hey, she can do it. But yeah, she's there. And trust me, from Monday to Friday, to Saturday, Sunday, I was in church. Yeah. So when a man in the church goes to your bishop and say, I want to marry you, and it happens to be the bishop's nephew, kind of, because it's the wife's sister's son, so his nephew really. So his nephew-in-law to the bishop. And you are in that situation already, where you have a child with somebody else that is not his child, and everybody say that, oh, she had a child, but they never saw the man. They never saw him because he died. But nobody cared to ask why that happened, and nobody had an understanding how it happened. But you cannot explain to everybody all the time. You just move your way and raise your child. At least I didn't put the child in care. Now, the family was against me, him marrying me because I had a child. They were against it. And they were very happy about it. And so, because there's a story in their family, his dad had a wife that passed away, so they have two brothers and sisters. And because of this, they didn't want any of their siblings to marry someone that has a child. I happen to be the lucky victim. This guy needed paper. Okay. I can say that boldly now because we came to understand what the whole thing was about. So who's the vulnerable person in the church that you can go and marry that nobody cares about? I had no mother in this country, no father in this country, no family members, nothing. So I was just hooked there. You see our story?
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah.
So you stayed there because you wanted to have
these children in one place.
And you wanted to have all of them. What I'm trying to say to you is, I have Mona by a different father. I have my 3 other children by their dad, which is marriage, right? And his words were, even if you leave and nobody will want you, you have plenty children, you have 1 year already, you have that. Hey, that one, at least their father is dead. I can't go and claim this one and that from him. But you that you're alive, what are you doing to prove that men are worth being with anyway?
Yes.
You know, but I wasn't talking like that before.
You couldn't.
I was far away first before I said this kind of stuff I'm saying. So when you have all the children, you have 2 children, I suppose.
Yeah, so my son was then sort of, because I decided to leave. I said, look, I can't cope with this anymore. It was things like, we'll go out and someone will speak to me. So when we come, I was like, who's that you were talking to? I wouldn't even have the chance to explain, and that the beatings will start. Yeah? Now, there's a hope that 2 of my friends who saved my life are watching this program today. Because when the beatings kept going on, I kept it to myself, like I said. Yeah. But through the talking of families, it was okay, you change. He had a family of his that we used to always go to for advice. And they would always say, oh, look, he changed, you know, and then they'll give me an example of this. Oh, your uncle used to slap me here, then, but he's all right, we're still married. You know, and you think, I was like really young, I was like 23, 24. And you start believing that actually, maybe it will change. You know, and because I've got this in my head that no way do I want to have kids all over, I stayed. So I became pregnant with my daughter now. So when I became pregnant with my daughter, I thought, okay, as silly as someone might think, why didn't you leave? I was just hoping that he would change. You know, a lot of people that have been through DV will tell you that they don't just pick up their bag and go, because when they're not in that abusive mood, they're the most sweetest people you can ever imagine. When they are in the abusive mood, then it's a complete different ballgame, you know? So my daughter was then born, and when my daughter was born, it's a different ballgame now, because you get 2 slaps now instead of 1. Isn't it?
It's a girl.
Yeah. There's 2 kids now.
Should I have a boy?
You know, there's 2 children now in the household, and I'm like, do I leave or do I stay? And then one day, I'll never forget this day, I used to live quite central London, and a couple that saved my life, I hope they're watching today. My daughter was in my arms, my son was 2 at the time. So we had our washing machine had broken down, so I called someone to come and fix it. When this person came to fix the washing machine,
yeah.
it's the guy that came to fix it. He's come back from work and he see a man in a house.
Oh, Jesus.
And automatically, he assumed that something might have happened. Totally wrong. And then, of course, I've got my daughter in my arm, I've got my son, and the beating started. I'm protecting my children here. So I managed to escape from the house with just a night dress and just my head wrap. So I was running for my life. It was mid sort of winter. You can imagine, like sometime in sort of March or maybe April or even like February time. I can't remember the exact month. But I'm running for my life and people are looking at me thinking, why has she not got a coat? Why is she not wearing some kind of a coat? So I'm running and I went into this particular friends of mine who I'd say, I hope they're watching. And they said, what's wrong? And I said, well, this is what's happening in the house. I won't run out like looking like a crazy person. Yeah. I need help. And they took me into their household and they said to me, you are never going to go back to that house. You know, and from that day I thought, I've really got to break away from this. Yes. But it was the fear of the unknown. It was the fear of how am I going to cope. It was the fear of what people would say. It was the fear of letting my family down. Because remember, divorce isn't like the done thing. And then all these biblical things that come to your head, that thou shalt not divorce, and thou shalt not, and thou shalt not. And then my question will be, well, should I just stay and get killed? Or do I leave?
Then that's the thing. There's so many verses in the Bible. Before, when I left, I did not just leave. The church called me and said, if I separate from my husband, I should leave the church. Now, mind you, I've been in this church since I was 16 years old. I had no other place to go, and I don't know any other ministry, and all I ever knew in my life was church. You take me to the club, I'll be sleeping in the VIP session while my friends are doing what they're doing. Because you want to belong sometimes. You put one foot there, because you don't really know where you are as a young person, really. So they say, if you leave this guy, or you separate, because God doesn't like that. My thing was, let us separate, you give him help. But they're saying, no, that's not what the church does. We've been praying for you, deliverance on me. This topic has to defer for another time. I think we have to continue.
Oh,
1 hour is not enough for this.
There's definitely a part 1 to 6.
I'm going to look into someone's face right now. My sister said some few things. She said, the fear of the unknown. The Bible said, be anxious for nothing. Whenever you're anxious about something that you do not know about, it doesn't resonate with your spirit. If you start going to uni, you never know when you're going to finish this uni. You don't know what the exam paper is like, what it entails. All you're thinking in your mind, whatever I'm reading in this book, is what is going to come into the exam. Lucky you if it comes in. I remember we used to have open books for law exams, where we have to take the law book. You can read, but you might not know what page that exam is on, even though they give you the book to open it. That's how life is. It runs, it goes. But you need to understand, my father says something. I was raised by my dad. And everything I'm living now, he taught me those things. He said to me at the age of 5, I can feel it, when the man raised his hand to you, you walk away. Yes. But my father died when I was 27 years old. I didn't know that. But then when I met this husband that raised his hand to me, I had nowhere to run. Like yourself, I kept it. But you do not stay in it, because as us have survived, and we are speaking about it, a lot of women are not in our position right now to talk about it. Some of them went to the length to kill the person, and either they're in prison defending their lives right now, or waiting trial, and so and so. The lucky ones, well, self-defense, and they walk. But sis, killing someone is a stain on you already. Like killing I can't even kill a chicken. So when a man is like that, or a woman is like that, the world is too large and too big for you to go into situations like this and put your life in jeopardy. And then most times we forget the children in these relationships. Now, when I used to go through it, my mother, God bless her, never changed her number. She lives in America. I used to speed down my mom's number. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I used to speed down my mom's number, and yeah, I decided to tie my hair today. I used to speed down my mom's number, and it would go straight to my mother. And then my mother would call my cousin in Brixton that would call the police. Oh, wow. Then the police would come, and I would pretend nothing happened. But one day, that was when the law, you sent me Clara's law. The law was not passed about domestic violence. If you tell the police, you're fine, hey, they will gladly clap their hands and walk away. Why? Because it's your life. Absolutely. So this policeman, remember his face, and I can so remember him if I see him any day. He came close to my ears and he whispered, he said, call your mom, she's worried. And he said, not many women survive this. I don't know why, I like you. He was in my house for only 5 minutes, but he liked me. You could see the scratches and the bruise on me, and I just call myself my right up. from that day I began to grow my nails. I was ready.
Ready,
Because
absolutely.
I wasn't going to get pregnant anymore to fight him.
I couldn't find
So
mine.
I was ready to
Yeah.
like, bring it on, I'm here. But the irony of this all is, you need to understand the sign, right? We don't have much to do. You have to understand the sign of abuse. When the man starts to tell you certain things, my auntie used to say, when the man says to you, go and do your hair, start doing your nails, this food is too salty, and he slapped you one time and you hold it, be careful. Now, his family sometimes are not the best people to run to.
Yeah.
It's like my partner and I running to my mom and talking bad about my mom. Obviously, they would nod their head and say, this one coming insult our child in front of us. That's what I had to face, like a big stumbling block. We're gonna give you some numbers to call. We don't have much time, but then next week, 4 weeks time?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know, but definitely more
Definitely.
serious. Yeah.
We got so many information for you. Domestic violence is a big thing.
Yeah, there's a 2-minute clip. Yeah, there's going to be a 2-minute clip, I think, isn't it? Yeah. So let that 2-minute clip play, and then I guess we can continue.
Get back to you.
I could talk about this all day.
Is that what they told you?
I feel so liberated.
I don't want to go deep, so we don't start crying.
Oh no, I won't cry. No way. Right, let's go.
That clip you just watched was a modification of domestic violence. It tells you that there's a lot of things that is happening in the world. Change is coming, and we must speak of it. And I just want my sister to go deeper. I want you to like tell us deeper and how you came to the realization that this is it, and the day you walked away and you never turned back again. So 20 years to today, you're speaking.
Yes, yeah. It's taken me 20 years to speak about this particular ordeal that I went through. Okay, so what made me want to leave is the question. I remember one day, I mean, I always used to call the police, as wrong as people thought it was. You know, people say, why did you call the police on your partner? And I'm like, because I can't live like this any longer. I just can't do it any longer. So they'll come and arrest him, they'll take him away, and they'll give him an injunction. They'll say to him, don't come anywhere near where she lives, and he'll come back again. As much as they'll tell him, he'll come back again, you know? No, there are times where it's like, for example, I used to live in a house, so maybe like I'll be drying the clothes, and when you're drying your clothes in a dryer, you'll open your window, and I'll open my window, and he'll just come through it, and he'll come in. And I'm like so fearful of my life and the children's life. I was really fearful for both my kids and myself. A lot of my friends that know me from like growing back in Ghana would say, there's no way anybody could have taken advantage of Lizzie, because I'm a tough cookie. I'm an Ashanti girl. You don't mess with the Ashanti girls.
You don't. I am a tough I lived in Ghana.
Honestly, I'm one of the toughest cookies you could get. But this guy reduced me to nothing. In the sense that I couldn't stand up for myself, I couldn't fight him. He was a lot stronger than I am. He's like 6 foot something, you know? If you know you look at my son, you think, oh my God, you know, he's so tall, and, you know, the father was so tall, and I just couldn't fight him, you know? So what made me want to leave was one day, I remember the beats was going on and on and on and on, it was a slapping and a beating, and when he was in that sort of mood, you can't stop him. And sometimes it's just me and him in the house. My neighbours will hear, but neighbours don't really get involved. It's like, oh God, what do we do? Do we call the police or don't we call the police? Because one minute they see like me and him fighting, or him laying his fingers on me, next minute we're friends. So they're like, what's this confusion? You know, they don't get it. And that's domestic violence in general, because it's so good to you. And by the way, viewers, I'm speaking my personal story, so I'm talking from a woman's point of view. Today, I'm not here to say, oh, men also go through it. I know men also go through it, but I'm talking about me. So I just wanted to make that clear, that this is my story. I'm a woman, and I stand here today to speak on behalf of women who are going through domestic violence. So going back to the question you asked me, the reason why one day I decided to leave is that there was violence in the house, and he was like really getting upset. Sometimes he'd wait till the kids were in bed. He wouldn't hit me in front of my children. He'd wait till they're in bed, and then he'd do whatever he has to do, like act out and display whatever, and then if the kids are sleeping, they're deep sleeping, whether they heard what was going on or not, I don't know, because my children never spoke about it, even up till now. Maybe my son, one day I remember talking and I said, oh, I went through hell. My son went, Mum, it wasn't just you, we all went through it. But it was really strange to hear him say that, because I thought it was just me.
Because you never spoke of it.
Exactly.
It's like with my children as well. I was ministering actually. I was on the stage with the mic in my hand. The keyboard already got the keys, about to start. Then the Holy Spirit made me look up, and I looked up and I saw my daughter changing colors. You know, she's Sabino. She started getting purple and pink in the face. So she's crying. So I took the mic and gave it to one of the girls. I had no clue whether she could sing the song or not. But when it's family, I've neglected them for so long for my own interest. So I gave the mic to this girl, and I go off the stage and whisper in the bishop's ear and said, I'll be back in 10 minutes. And I took my daughter outside. And then when I took her out, she started crying bitterly. Like, it's like I've never heard Angel cry the way she cries. She's very stubborn and keep things inside of her. And when she reacts really vengefully. And then she said, I don't know why you had to put us through that. This was in Ranford, at the church I went to visit in Ranford. Why you have to put, I'm out here, people are waiting for me to do praise and worship and pray. And it's, I don't know why you put us through all of this. I don't know why we have to come to this, Mommy. I am tired of moving from one place to another. All I can remember is not having a settled home. Okay. How were you? This child was not even up to what? She was 10 when she's telling me this. That's about 2 years ago. She's 12 this month. And then she's like, all I did was move, leave my friends, go to refuge. How did you know you were in refuge? You were about 4 or 5 years old.
And I think that's the problem we make. We don't really tell the kids what's going on. We cover it all up, expecting that, look, shh, you know, nobody should know about this. Or you pretend. After my ex husband would slap me here, there, and everywhere and beat me up. I can say this live on camera. I will go out pretending everything's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's absolutely perfect. Nothing's wrong. It was nice. Mum, is everything okay? Everything's fine. But everything wasn't fine. I was really, slowly, things weren't really working for me, to be honest with you. And I'll go to work as normal, and I'll carry on as normal. And I mean, those that know me know I'm the most bubbliest, lovely, fun person to
And
be
she
with.
takes you to the best joint in town.
You know, and I would go to work all lovely, all great. And then when I finish work and I'm coming home, oh my God, I'm going to go and face this man.
Oh.
Just what I mean. So you asked the question, what made me want to leave?
Yeah.
So I remember one incident where he got really violent, and I wouldn't even say where we were living at the time. And a police officer came to the house, female, and she came in. They were very used to me. They knew who I was. The minute the phone went, they knew was like number 22, whatever the address was at the time. So she came over, and when they took him outside to talk to him, she sat with me, and she said to me, "If you don't leave this relationship, the next time we come here, you will leave here in a body bag." That means, look, we will come with it, and you
We will actually come prepared to take you as a body.
Yeah, because this isn't going to stop. And she said to me, look, I wish I could remember her name or whatever, but it's a long time ago. And she said, your body will be in a body bag. So either you leave or you seek help. And she gave me a long list of domestic violence places I can go to. And she said, ring one of these and just seek help. Yeah? And I was like, right, okay. And this is when my friends and people that were really close to me at the time, because remember I said to you, I was running, I went to a place, and they said, so you're not going back? I went back.
Yeah, you went back, so they give up.
I
did the same thing.
Yeah.
I left the church for 1 year, 6 months. I had my baby because he dragged me when I was pregnant. And I ended up almost losing the children in my womb. So I was taken to the refuge. So then, like I said to you, I had to go back to church.
Yes.
The same church again telling me, take him back. But there was nothing done to counsel him or bring us to a level where this has come to this point and it's bad. Police is even coming and take this woman to refuge. Yeah. What they said to me, I lied to police, that's why I went to refuge. So they never acknowledged that there was a problem in this marriage. And plus, they don't want the people to know that we have done, like, the bishop in law is beating his wife. Exactly. After all, the bishop was beating his wife, so obviously they can't talk to my husband. It's a cycle that was repeating in this place, and nobody could talk to this guy because they were doing the same thing he was doing. Exactly. That's what he grew with. So my mother said, how can a man marry my daughter that nobody can talk to and you guys are Christian? I think someone's watching, our producer, and they're saying the volume is too low. They can't hear what we're saying, so I just thought I'd say that. Someone's saying the volume's too low. So I wondered if this is on. Should it be on? Oh, I think now it's on, isn't it? It's flashing now. Yeah? Because someone kind of sent a message that the volume is too low. Sorry, hope the volume is okay. Let us know if the volume is okay, please. So, so that's what it boiled down to. And when she said, look, next time they come, it will be your body. And I was like, I looked in the mirror and I looked at myself and I thought, you know what? Shame or not, I'm out. And I'm out for good. Do you think this man left me alone? No. No. You know, obviously we're all in the same kind of community. So the Ghanaian community I go into, I see him. Unless I don't go out. But you know what? He reduced me to nothing. I was nothing really. And I wouldn't go out in public because I was ashamed. I was fearful, I was really scared of him, and not even up till now. If I go somewhere and I see him, to be honest, I think more, I say I'm fearful, but I'm more, I'm more like, why do you do this to a human being, you know? And someone said to me that, a psychologist friend I was talking to said maybe his upbringing might have been something to do with why he was behaving the way he was behaving. So at some point, sort of about 15 years after leaving the relationship, he wrote me a message. And he sent, I don't think those days was a WhatsApp. He sent me, I think it was an email or something, but he wrote to me. And he said, I want to apologize for my behavior. I want to apologize for everything I put you through. I'm a born again Christian, in vertical commas, because I have to say that. Because leaving the violent one, I met somebody 9 years later who was in a church and it was verbally abusive. So someone says, God, what's wrong with you? Pick up, don't you? But hey, that's another day. That's another story. Listen, we can be in the church, but the church is not in us. After all, we are the church. What needs to be in us is Jesus. What needs to be in us is the Word of God. And that's what, in this stage in marriages, we don't have, because the counseling is not adequate enough. Now, the church hasn't got a place where you can go for counseling. So when you go to the pastor or the bishop to talk about it, they start praying for deliverance on you. They automatically think it's spiritual thing. Listen, when I started going through the things with my ex-husband, And then I started moving with my white friends more. These girls were going on holiday with their boyfriends, holidays with their husbands. So I came home one day and I said to my husband, you know, I think this house is too confined and we are too many in this house. So maybe that's why your brain is just acting the way it's acting.
Yeah.
Some words I say can give me slaps as well. And then I said, why don't we just go on holiday? It's Nigerian. Watch, this is what he said. In 9, you're very stupid. Which holiday am I going to take you? Look at you. It's my money, you're costing me already. And then he said, why would I want to take my woman to hospital? It's prostitutes that go to hotels with men. Why would I want to take you to a hotel? Why would I want to go to this place and that place? Are you a prostitute? No. We're leaving the environment to go away. Maybe that's what I was doing to work on the marriage before I make my decision. Listen, I am someone that I can give you a long rope. When I'm ready to walk away, the church cannot stop me.
Exactly.
Nobody. What I do, I will lock myself away from the world and face God.
Yes.
Father, you show me, or it's my decision. You have to show me. Because the Bible says, if I commute with him and I connect with him, that which I desire, he will show me. Absolutely. And he won't use the prophet or the pastors to tell me, because at this point, I've been disappointed by so many pastors. And I've been disappointed by the people that actually, I married this guy because I believed that when I go to them and say, this is what's happening, they will help me. I had nowhere to run to, I had no family, nobody to go to. I was homeless with my children in the street of Wandsworth. You know what's Wandsworth, beautiful borough. They refused to house me, and this guy refused to pay bills. Every time I got pregnant, he'll be like, why are you pregnant? I don't have my paper and you're pregnant. Is that all you can do? Produce. And I said, but you're sleeping with me as well. Oh, that's a slap on the stomach. That's why you're sleeping with me. Then, it's like, from one thing to another, if they, like you said, if the guy in the butcher, the Palestinian guy is doing his meat, and he says to the guy, reduce the price. You know how Nigerians like bargains? Sorry, not all of you, I beg. And then they say, oh, can I, it's 20 pounds, oh, let me pay 15. The man said, no. Because of your beautiful wife, I give it to you for 15. And when you get I have slept with that guy. Because most black women do, apparently. I go home, that's another story. He doesn't wait for the children to go to bed. There was a point where my son used to say to me, if you shout at me, I'll slap like the way dad slapped you. Yeah. And when I left and I was in the refuge, and the church came back and said I should go back to my husband, my daughter then that I had, that they were saying, oh, she's a second hand already, she already had a child, said to me, Mommy, if you go back to him, I will leave and never come back. Do you know I almost take a knife to stab him? Oh, Lord have mercy. She made that statement, and I realized that her father died when she was a baby. I raised her and I suffered. I could not finish my law degree for so many times. I kept going back and forward. I took time to finish this. My friends were ahead of me. But one thing God has made me to be is not competitive. Absolutely. I finished things in my own time. Because my father said to me, what is worth doing well. If you cannot do it now, do it later. Don't do it at a pace where everybody is doing it, because it might not be that time. Absolutely. When I look at this child and I realize what she's endured, she now begins to speak how he beat her, how he speaks to her. Like when she bathed her little sister and the girl starts to cry. My second daughter don't like bathing. So when she bathed Angel, and I'm not home and he hears Angel's cry, he gets angry and he thinks Mona is doing something to Angel. So you're wicked because you're her stepsister, you're not treating her well. So this step-10 became like a problem in my home. Till now, he says to his children, that's your stepsister, don't tell her no deep things, don't tell her secrets. They may not be in our lives because we have the children, they have that effect on the children. They still have that and it's really bad. But what I had to do, which most African women don't do, you need to, you know what, go to your children's school, say to the head teacher, I need help. Yes. Whether you have paper or not, listen, being illegal does not mean you should die. I'll tell you the truth. Most of you don't have your paper because the man brought you. When I was in the refuge, I met a young lady. She had a baby for the guy. And he was controlling her, but he was married, but he brought her to this country without paper. So she had nowhere to go after he did what he did. She had a baby in the refuge. And I said to her, you can't be here like this. I'm helping someone when I need help. And I said, I will help you get a social service. Social service is duty bound to your child under Section 17 of the Children's Law. But you, I don't understand where they're going to place you, but you need to go for help. You can't be like this. She said, if the man don't give her money, she don't eat. So when she started putting things in place, and I said, write your MP, she started doing that. She came to me and said, oh my God, the MP wrote, they're going to give me this, they're going to give me that, they're going to give me that. And she was there is help out there. There is help out there. Now, you have shelter. Shelter just dealt with me for my housing. When, trust me guys, I'm intelligent, I try my best to be. But when you're in a domestic abusive environment, you do not have brains anymore. You work like a zombie, you behave like a zombie. In my church, everybody knew what I was going through. So I was a very embarrassed young woman. But let me tell you, when I spoke in the meeting, they hear what I'm saying, they wanted to help and do stuff with that. But you know what? You need to find that thing in yourself to move on. You don't have to leave the marriage right away. I don't believe in divorce and all of that. That's why I waited 4 years. He sent me divorce paper. I didn't divorce him. I said to God, I will not do it with my pen and paper. I was saying to my partner then, I said, you are waiting on me. You're a good guy God sent. But this is something I won't put into motion. Until he does it, I can't do it.
Yes.
Because I don't want to be in a story where I divorced my husband. He sent me the divorce. It only came to effect last month or so. NASA came to effect. But the thing is, find somewhere. Go to shelter. Shelter can help you. You have helpline. National Domestic Helpline. You can call the Women Only Advice Line. They got Men's Only Advice Line. Our lines are open if you want to call us. To speak about anything you want to speak about, it's 079 44 34 6028. 079 44 34 6028. So please call us and let's interact with each other. We don't just want to be the one ranting on.
Exactly.
So even men, they have men's helpline. I was watching something. I have a habit of researching things. I'm just crazy like that. I think because I didn't become the lawyer that I wanted to be. And I had these children, I had to work around my children because I was married and single in this marriage. Now, this family didn't say we'll babysit for you, but they were telling me when am I having the next babies? When am I having the next babies? When he realized that what he came for was not working for him, which is the paper, I became the punching bag.
Did he get it?
And he got his paper, he said, I will deal with you. That was his word to me. But he forgot who helped him get the paper. He forgot who wisdom it was. And if you think you know a bit of the law, I know double than you, so you don't want to play with me. And the last thing he said to me was, and most women do this, when these men leave you with this baby, they expect the government to look after you. Listen, domestic violence is painful enough. You have been brought to the lowest of self-esteem, where when you even make up, see, it was my now partner used to say to me,
oh, someone's calling, yeah. Someone's calling.
I deal with iPhone, not Sunny.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
We're fine.
Well, very good, thank you.
Oh, I just want to say a big thank you to you both there. You're doing such an amazing job. And please, I applaud you for your boldness.
Oh, thank you.
Because within our community, we don't talk about this. It's like a taboo.
Mm-hmm.
We just always want to hide our way. And, you know, this is what we need.
Yeah.
These are the kind of topics that we need.
Yeah, we'll hold it closer to the mic. Yeah. Yeah.
To hold on and, you know, encourage other women and other men as well to come out. There's a lot of people out there trying to appease people that are going to western that what you're even describing out there.
Yes.
And it's all about the boldness.
Yeah, you know, it's great that you say that because it's taken me 20 good years to share this, and you know what? It had to be done. Because sometimes God speaks to us in so many different ways, and I thought I can't hold on any longer, and it had to be done. And obviously meeting Dr. Toe, who's also been through the same experience, I just think it's awesome. You know, prior to obviously coming here, I spoke to my partner, I said, how do you feel about this? He said, look, if it's going to help many people, why not go for it? And with his approval and my children's approval, I was, when I say approval, I mean, you know, he was happy for us, for me to come and talk about this. And of course with my children as well, you know, I just couldn't sit back. It had to be done.
Wow.
It had to be done. Yeah.
It has to be done, yeah.
Well done. I just want to ask you one quick question there. When all that was going on, I know you said there were a few times that you wanted to leave or the police kept coming in and then, but did you know that there was help out there or you didn't have to do at all?
Do you know what's really crazy about that? I love this man. You know that crazy word, love?
Right.
I know it sounds crazy, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And I thought, because you love him, nobody, remember I've been told no one else is going to love me. Do you remember? Yes. So you was,
in denial.
yes. And then because I didn't want my kid, I didn't want to be a single mom. I didn't want that title on me. I wanted to have the 2.4 children or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
The husband, the wife, and the children. So I kept staying, hoping things would change. But
and the thing I think most time is there is help. Like she said, she stayed in. I too did not ask the police where can I get help because I had a church to help me. You see, someone told me one time and said the church is not supposed to help you. The church themselves needs help.
yeah,
That's when I woke up. Because most times the pastors or the bishops or the archbishops don't even know how to help themselves, talk less of helping you. So what we know now, if we know it then, if, like I'm saying to you, we've got women's group now, domestic violence help women group. You've got our friend that was meant to be here tonight. Her name is Veronica Spinson. She would have been able to talk more on that because she does this in churches to make them aware of domestic violence. And she talks to people about domestic violence as well. And she even have a program coming up, domestic violence awareness coming up this month sometime. And they're able to now go into churches and help people to get things sorted and get things together. But we never had those. Because like you said, it was a taboo. It's forbidden to tell people that you've been beaten by your husband, whatever you're with. It's not something that you discuss in public, no. That means you're not a good wife. The Bible says he that gathers the wind in his house gathers trouble. And women are meant to hold the home.
yeah.
So my question was, are you giving him enough sex? Are you cooking fresh food every day? Are you talking back to him? Are you cleaning the house? Are you doing this? So the falls back on the woman.
Yeah. We've got another call coming through.
Before I let you go, since you are in the church, I think that there's more that you need to do as well.
Yes.
Because most women in the church, that is where you find the most vulnerable ones. Because we've been told that the Bible says that we have to be submissive. And because of that word submission, they use it against us women, and you can't even talk. Because when you go to your pastor is going to tell you, you're not supposed to be divorced, you have to stay in there. And so I think that you being part of the church as well, maybe you take it on board and we start educating more of the churches.
I am doing that. Yes. Thank you, sweetie. Have a great day.
Okay, so
That was good. You heard what we said. There's help out there. You can contact Dampers TV, and he's gonna give you the details that you need. And we're here to help you as well.
Absolutely.
We're all healing together. We're all in this journey together. We want a society of better women and better men, so that our children will be good boys and girls. Now, I had to send my son counseling because he was beating the female teachers in school. It came to his understanding that it's good to beat a woman. So he was doing that. And he was getting in trouble. But because of my input in the school, they helped me a little bit. And he had to go counseling. So I put all my children in counseling. The only person that didn't go counseling was my older daughter. But I could see in her that she needed that. But she had to make that decision herself. I never pushed my children to do anything. But because the way they were acting in school, and they had to go for something, like they need to speak to someone other than me. And I had to do the same thing. I went for counseling for 6 months to find myself. And this woman asked me a question one day. She said, what do you really want to do? I said, I want to sing. I didn't want to work in the law office. I didn't want to work in no office anymore. I just didn't want to do anything anymore. I just wanted to be. Like, I wanted to just be precious. If I had money, girl, I would have traveled the whole world and not look at nobody. I said to myself, I'm going to just be me, and I'm not going to take nothing from nobody anymore. I became this brick, like nothing could break me. And I was very tough and strong. My words were different. My languages were different. And I called my pastor friend, this is how I'm feeling. Then I stopped calling. 6 months counseling, 6 months waiting on God. I said, I'm not going to no church until you tell me where to go. And that's how I dealt with it, because I felt like telling people, whether they judge me or not, I need to come to a place where I wouldn't care if they judge me. It's one thing to say, I don't care what people say, but you do care what they say. Already you mentally, you're not okay. Because when my children head teacher took me to a place in Woolwich, there were so many mental health women like us. 24, 25. And she said, this is where you're going to end up. If you don't behave precious. And those children, you love them. I see how, when I bring my children to school, I can go home because we had no home to go to. We lived in Woolwich Central. So I will wait till Wandsworth. From 9 till 3:30, no food, nothing to eat. I wait around there, and then I would go. Now, to top here, let me tell you guys something. There are deep things we're going to talk about. And nobody should get offended because it's deep. When they give me the notice to leave my house, because when I was alone, I was paying my bills. When he comes in, he won't pay the bill. So the council now calculated him. This guy will take phone and call the council and say, I'm in the house. I am head husband. I'm in the house. So the council is going to add you on the list that you are in the house. Men abuse us with financial abuse, domestic abuse. So once the council decided to put the rent higher, and then because it's private house, so we can pay the rent and all of that. He said, I didn't come to this country to pay rent. He said, I came here to make money, and the money I came to make to build my house back home. He signed my checkbook, stored my money, built a house in Nigeria that I'm not even going to enter it. Hopefully my boys might take it someday. If not, I will build them a house in Nigeria. But something happened. Now, this guy had to go, and I said to myself, you know what? No, this guy know what he was doing. He said, you can write to the council.
Someone else is calling. Got a call coming through. Here we go. Hello, caller. How can we help you? Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you very, very much for such a great show. Especially this.
Oh, thank you.
I applaud you.
Thank you so much.
I've been watching it from, when you guys started. And let me first of all say this from a lady pastor myself. I think it's about time that some pastors, let me rephrase it, to stop using the word of God to cover up rubbish.
Exactly.
And educate their church members.
Yes.
God does not say anywhere in the Bible that be a man abusing a woman or a woman abusing a man is correct.
No.
They need to teach women and men to know their value.
Absolutely.
When the Bible says honor your wife, or you should respect and obedient, and all these words that is in the Bible, a lot of people are twisting it into their own advantage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that the more they educate people to know their values and to know the love of God, no one will treat anybody rubbish.
That's right. Yeah.
You understand?
Absolutely.
And most people have self-esteem before they go into a relationship anyway.
Mm.
And because they couldn't beat up somebody, they think the woman is a punching bag. But hey, ladies, be alert.
Absolutely.
Every man who touches you has touched the eye of God.
Yes.
And therefore, you shouldn't stand up to any rubbish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me be the first pastor, lady pastor, to say this, and I'm proud to say this. I raise women to become a champion, not losers.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Because he gave us the power to anything that they say, anything that we want to do, we can do it by the grace of God.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And our men, we should respect and love them. But when it comes to the abusive part, he needs to go and examine himself first.
Exactly, but the thing is, he made me believe that all the fault was from me. It was how I looked, it's what I wore, it's how, talking to somebody, it was all my fault. And I started believing it.
Can I just say something to cut to you? He was afraid that another man would take you from you.
Well, do you know what? Since he left me, he's probably met about 4 or 5 different women.
By his own little head, by doing that, you will believe him and stick with him. But guess what? Today, God, glory be to God that he has made you who you are today.
Exactly. Exactly.
And be a living testimony to God's children.
Absolutely.
God bless you.
Thank
For
you.
that, I will leave you guys and let the others to get through.
Thank you
very
so much. Have a blessed
you.
week.
Thank you.
And to add to that, guys, while you're watching, James chapter 3 verse 19 said, husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. Let's put it around. Women, love your husband too and be not bitter to him. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter to them. And the Bible put it rightfully in Proverbs, said, submit to your wife and she submits to you, and do not be harsh to your wife. Now, you need to understand that when they're reading Malachi to you all the time, if you read Malachi 2:13 to 16, then 16 to 17, it says, you ought to love the wife of your youth, respect her, honor her. He said the wife of your youth, because therein is your blessing. It's if you pay your tithe, the heavens will open. God is not saying that one. That was when the Israelites were eating the tithe and doing what they were doing with the money. Right now, if I read Malachi to you, you'll be shocked what you'll find in it. Malachi 2:13, 16, 2:16 to 17. it says that the man should honor his wife and the wife should submit to the husband.
And that's where it goes
and
all
there
wrong
should be no
somewhere.
harsh treatment from the man to the woman. He said because the woman is a weaker vessel. Hey, they say we are weak. We're not weak. A scorn of a woman.
Honestly, that's like I was saying before, Dr. Toe, I am one of the toughest cookies you could ever get. Nobody could get past. You wouldn't even dare.
No.
But this is what happened to me.
Yeah.
So just to kind of say to the viewers, people that are watching, doctors, lawyers, solicitors, prime minister, whoever you might be, domestic violence can affect anyone and everyone.
Yes.
And one of the things I learned when I was going through what I was going through was more the shame. So look, a whole Lizzie, as I used to call myself, a whole Lizzie, you've been slapped and kick and punch, you know. And to be honest with you, looking back now, my ex-husband was coward. You know, this is my first husband, by the way, not the second one. And somebody might say, well, you know, how comes you got married twice? I had to leave my violent marriage, the physical. I left myself 9-year gap. I didn't want to be with nobody. I wanted to be alone, and I wanted to just be alone. And I prayed, and the Lord helped me in so many different ways. 9 years later, I met someone, and I thought, yeah, Angel Gabriel, this is it, it's all going to work. The second person I was, this time I was married. I had a ring on my finger. Proper wedding white gown and all that. All the white bits you can think of. Everything was, you know, and all that happened. And I thought, this is it, this is my last stop. I'm not going to, you know, I've got here now. The Lord has been so good. He never laid a finger on me, but the words he would use.
Abuse,
oh my goodness. The words this man will use will cut you so deep. It was unbelievable. So here's me, who's been through physical, who's been through emotional. Where'd you turn now? You see what I mean? And then I didn't trust nobody. I don't want to be with no one after my, you know, my second marriage.
And there's a saying, if it went wrong the first time, people would not blame you.
Yeah.
But if it went go wrong the second time,
there's something wrong.
There's something's wrong with this woman. And maybe to start fasting and praying for her.
That's it. And then what happens? I left a huge gap. I thought, I don't want to be with no one on my own. And to God be the glory, I've met the most awesome, amazing man in my life. And I just want to face the camera and say to anyone who's watching, if you are going through domestic violence and you feel that, oh my goodness, I can't leave because I was there and I know what that's like, there is hope. There is hope. The only way you're going to see that hope and your life being turned around is by picking up your bag and literally slinging your hook, is the word I use. Yeah? Sling your hook as quickly as you can, because you know what? It never stops. Let me tell you some of the things it starts with. Why are you wearing that? Where are you going? What time do you call this? Why are you speaking to that man? I saw you speaking to this person. What kind of food have you cooked for me again? Why is it salty? Why is it the same food again? You know? And you look at yourself and you think, it's all my fault. It must be all my fault, but it isn't your fault. Yeah? And you go through your phone, look at your messages, checking your emails. That's how it all starts. Don't stand for it.
Don't.
And I've said to myself, and I'm looking in the camera and I'm saying this, no man will ever lay a finger on me again. Ever.
And you won't find that man anymore. It's our prayer as we speak
No.
out, women are
Never
liberated. So like my sister said, we're going to round up because we had enough time and we talked a lot. But we thank God it's fruitful for you. So we will come back next week. This is going to be continued. Not next week, but we'll let you know further details from the Dentist TP. Now treatments like intimidation, threatening to kill you or you kill yourself, destroying things belonging to you, stand over you, like physical abuse in a sense, slapping, hitting, punching, sexual abuse. You know, there are things we can say. Man used to push me down on the bed after all, I pay your diary so I can do whatever I want to do with you, right? It came to a point where I never liked sex in my life and I stopped having it because I didn't care anymore. Whether I give you enough sex or not, he's going to beat me anyway, so what's the point? These are things you don't want in your life. You may look at us looking beautiful on the outside, but inside people are dying. And I'm saying to my sisters in the diaspora, our black sisters, because my white friends are good at going for help. And that's when I learned these things from, and that's why I'm here today. Please, go to shelter. They have women helpline, men's advice helpline. They have the 0800 numbers. Even they got it for the gay people as well.
Yes.
It's right before me. I have my eye just went on and I had to say it. And you got the National Free Phone Domestic Helpline. And you have the NSPP, they do that as well. Not only for children, because the children are okay and the mom is not okay, it's wrong. And like I said, we have our sister, Veronica. She does it very well. She goes to churches and she actually speaks to the church. and then train the people, safeguard training about domestic abuse and then abuse in the church, how to spot that sign of rape, because you find bishops are raping people's children now, and then you find out your daughter is pregnant by this bishop that came to visit, and he's fleeing to Nigeria. Now, the Bible said the days are dark and evil have come upon us. We need to be vigilant. We don't want to fight anybody. We don't want to disgrace anyone. It's not easy to come out to tell these kind of stories, but we're saying it because we are surviving, and we want you to have a life and to survive it yourself. Well, before we came out, we told our partners, he knows I'm vocal. When he first met me and said he wanted me, and I said, I'm very crazy because the world has made me crazy, and I'm able to speak my mind and tell you what I want. I respect you and give you that what is due to you. But when it comes to me going to do what I want to do, which I was restricted for 10 years, I'm going to go and do it. When you've been put in the can for so long, and it's like a genie let out of the bottle, just be careful what you say and how you say it. We want change in our society. We want to see our children out of the streets killing. We want to see all these things come to pass. So we are saying today, when you want to come on the show, just call Dempers TV 07944346028 and let him know you want to come, or send us a message on the Facebook, and we're going to put you on the flyer and then we'll let you know next time when we're going to come on.
But before we go,
how can we forget that?
We will do that in a minute, but before we go, so you've met someone really amazing, haven't you?
He's amazing. I'm still cooking him.
That's not true. That is not true.
I'm still like, but it's going to be secret. Everything I do is going to be secret. You guys are not going to know. Because, boy, what I'm been through in life, the Bible says I should be quiet until it comes to the fullness of glory.
Yeah. And also, just to say that I know it's difficult when you are going through DV, but like I said, there's hope out there. And I have found love. And I found happiness. And I really want to say thank you to him for understanding me. And sometimes the way I behave, I say I'm really sorry. It's not me. It's because of my past.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh like that.
He's amazing. And your husband's amazing, isn't he?
He's amazing.
Excellent.
And he makes me shine.
There's something new that we're doing on Dimpers TV now. So after every show, we will be drawing numbers out. And when we draw it out, Precious will read the question.
Oh, man.
And then I will answer it. So, shall I go for a number? Yeah, okay.
Don't mind me, I work with children, so my attitude is always like a baby.
Super. So I put number 89. I hope it's a good one. Number 89. So that's somewhere on the paper. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, guys. I love my partner, but he's very shy. So I'll be shy for him today as well.
Right. So what does 89 say?
Oh my God! What is something you look forward to do when you're retired?
Oh, what do I look forward
to? I'm not retiring, no.
But this question is for me. Oh, do you know what? What do I want to do when I retire? Do you know what? I want to help abused women. I want to help women that have gone through domestic violence in any possible way that I can. Because, do you know what? Jesus loves you. And this is a message that God's put on my heart.
Amen.
So that's what I hope to do.
Oh. I hope to be on the Bahamas someday, because by that time I will have built a refuge for all these women. And hey, my charity in Africa as well. So Bahamas, there I come when I retired.
Excellent. Thank you for
God bless you all.
Thank you.
And have a great one. And like we said, call into the show, send us messages. If you want to be one of the members on this show, come on. We have TV programs. We got Boss TV as well. We got Dumpers TV. In this place, we are blessed. Yeah, we can be all over the place and have it all going.
And just before we go, we've got 1 minute to go. If you're a man and you're going through domestic violence, your wife is beating you, and honestly, I'm really serious. Every time I talk about this, some of the men laugh, but men also go through domestic violence. If your wife is beating you black and blue, call us. This seat is ready.
If you don't want to talk to me, I will dress up like a man. And we're going to have that.
Okay.
We love you.
Right, we love you to bits. Take care,
everyone.
look after yourself, and contact the numbers. And if you need help, please call us.
Stay blessed.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.